Hi guys, I haven't been on here in a while just to do my own video. Sandy does get me on here every now and then. And you know why I was gone. I wasn't losing weight, I was actually gaining weight. I found it very difficult to talk to you about how to lose weight and how to get fit when I wasn't doing it myself. Better frame of mind now. Sandy wanted us to join, as you probably know if you're listening to her. And so my sister Mary and I and Sandy's daughter Christy started at the first of the year. They had a special, Back to Weight Watchers. I knew I wanted to get back. I wasn't really too thrilled with getting back because I did lose weight before, but the minute I stopped counting the points, it all came back. And so I did want to join with the group, wanted to be with them, and so I did. At the December 31st, we started back. They had a special, 3 months for $99 or something like that. I thought, okay, here we go. I'm gonna do it because I want to be along with them and I want to get fit with them. The first 2 weeks, didn't really care. Didn't really want to do the program. Didn't really want to count the points. Didn't really want to do the exercise. But so poorly. I did poorly. Let's just say that. Because I think 1 week I lost like 1.2 and then the next or something, and then I gained like 1 point something. So I had like a 0.2 loss like after 2 weeks because the effort wasn't there. But then the leader talked about simply filling, and she talked a little bit about it. You know, it's not mentioned much in meetings. It's not very present here on YouTube. Most people don't do it, and I always thought, geez, I'm not that good an eater to eat that good. But when she talked about it, it really hit home, and like a light bulb went off, and I thought, that actually sounds like the food I eat most of the time. And I thought, can I do it all the time? And then she said, you don't have to, you know, you can switch back and forth. It's like you're not set on a plan. If you're on Weight Watchers, you can do, you know, try simply filling for a while and try, you know, smart points for a while, figure out what is your niche and what you really like. That's kind of what she said. And I took that to mean, maybe I can do it in the week. And maybe I don't have to do a plan for a while and then another plan for another while. Why can't I just switch it up in the week and just keep track? And so that's what I've done. And so for the last 3 weeks since making that change and doing it this way, I have lost 2.9 pounds, 2.6 pounds, and 2.8 pounds. Now, mind you, with this change, and I'm going to explain to you how I did it, I'm also walking a ton of steps, but that is my way of exercise. It's winter here in Michigan. I don't walk outside. I'm afraid of falling. And so poor Shay doesn't get to walk with me. She gets to watch me along with my cats. But anyway, and I walk in the house, and I walk in the morning, and I walk in the afternoon, and I walk at night. And I make sure I get my steps in. I have a Fitbit, and it tracks my steps. And I do challenges with people, and that always helps me too and motivates me to get more steps. But I walk a lot, and that's a part of that loss too. So let me just preface to say that if you just try to follow the eating portion that I'm doing, I don't know that you'd have the success that I've had so far. And also to say, I've had great success so far, and it's been 3 weeks. That doesn't mean I'm going to get 2 point something loss each week, and I know it. There's going to be weeks where it might just be point something that I lose. But I think I'm going to be able to go in the right direction and eat and not feel deprived and really enjoy myself along the way, which is what I've done so far for the last 3 weeks. I don't feel deprived in anything I've eaten, and I'll explain how I do it. But and it's just so nice not to have to count every point and put little portions on your plate. Simply filling is you eat until you feel, you know, full. I mean, until you feel like, okay, I'm done. You don't ever feel the need to really go crazy because you really are full to the next meal. If you're eating the right you know, what you feel and the right foods, then it's great. And so I look at this and I look back. I started tracking in my little Michael's planner, you know what I mean? And I didn't do it the first week that I was on Simply Filling. I just kind of willy-nilly'd it and in my head kind of tried to track, and I thought, well, this isn't going to work. Even though I did lose 2.9, I thought this in the long run is not going to work for me because I really just need to be, you still are accountable to the number of points you're going to use in the week. And this way I can track it better. So I'll show you how I'm tracking it in a minute. But I just want to go briefly over Weight Watchers and Simply Filling, because you're not going to find out a lot of information about it. That's for sure. They give you a little pocket guide when you start, and it lists all these different foods. You know, like A to Z, all the foods. None of these are listed. When you have something Simply Filling, either on the Weight Watcher app or in these books, they usually have like a little green dot that tells you that's something I can eat, and you don't have to count any points for it. And you can eat as much of it as you want to feel full. This book, not the least bit helpful. I mean, it does tell you some 0-point foods, but that's 0 point, you know what I mean? The thing about it is, and I'll go into it a little bit more, there's foods that would say, oh, it's 2 points here, like an egg would tell you it's 2 points in this book. And in Simply Filling, you don't have to count it, so it's 0 points. So this book, not so helpful. This Meet Your Plan doesn't talk at all about Simply Filling. It just goes into tracking and how you lose weight. And I mean, it gets some very helpful information, not at all about Simply Filling. They gave out this book, Eating Better. Again, this is talking about points and how to cook and meal building, and I mean, helpful information, but nothing about Simply Filling. It's kind of a bust on that too. And then of course, when you really start, you get this Beyond the Scale. This is your like book. It's a little bit thicker that they give you, and they do actually talk for this pages here and these pages here. 3 whole pages and this whole entire book that talks about Simply Filling. They really kind of dropped the ball on it, if you ask me, because it's a great plan, and I think that they would go into more detail, such as our leader did at our meeting. More people, I think, would try it, because the only thing that's really set and geared for it, and all their cookbooks too. I looked through the ones that they had there that they were selling. There's no Simply Filling cookbook. But they do give you this little pamphlet, and it does list here, you know, all the foods, and then it talks about it on the back here. And basically what this is that you're trying to eat healthy foods. You're eating fruits, obviously, and you can eat as much fruit as you want. It can be frozen or canned or jarred in water without added sugar. So, I mean, you can't get the cans that have, you know, in the syrup and stuff like that. But generally speaking, you can have all of that. Again, with the vegetables, you can have corn, which is one of my, you know, favorite things. Corn on the cob, I've loved. Peas and green potatoes. Now, here you go. Potatoes, you can eat. Baked potato, you know, I have hash browns. I have like the sliced canned potatoes that I'll like fry up. I hate saying fry because really, you know, it's in a frying pan, but I put a little bit of that olive oil spray, and then I can put like Mrs. Dash or something in there to have those, and then you can pair that with ketchup, because you don't count ketchup. I mean, they don't think, you know, pour a whole bottle of ketchup. You got to use, you know, reason, but so you can have ketchup with those things, you know what I'm saying? Whole grains, and so my Cheerios that I have, I just have plain Cheerios in the morning, 0 points. I can have a bowl. I can eat not just that little cup, you know, because I feel like when you're counting and you get a cup for 4 points, it's kind of not enough. But it's not like I have 2 bowls of cereal, but I don't, you know what I mean? I fill the bowl as I think it should be, and then with the dairy I'll get into in a minute, I put a half a cup of skim milk. And I'm going to talk about that. You know what? When I originally met my husband, I drank whole milk. And I'm not a milk person. I don't drink a glass of milk ever. I don't use milk a whole lot other than to wet my cereal. But when we met, he was drinking skim and I was drinking whole, so we kind of met in the middle at 2%. And I've been having 2% milk for years and years. And so I had to count points when I first started this Simply Filling, and I'm thinking, I'm not counting 3 points for something I'm not even enjoying because it's just wetting my cereal. So I did buy the skim milk, and I put it in there, and you know what? it's not any different for me, because again, I'm not a milk drinker. It's not like I think if I was a milk drinker, I'd want to drink a whole glass of milk, skim milk. But making that adjustment, I saved myself 3 points. So, or, you know, that's pretty cool. And then I have a banana in it, and I have my water, and that's like filling, and pulls me all the way to lunch, you know. And then on here you can, talking about dairy, let me just make sure, because I'm looking at this list, not to tell you everything. Well, the whole grains, if you have whole grain pasta, of course that's no count, but I don't like that. So I use the regular pasta and I count the points, because I rather prefer, you know, to have the taste that I want, you know, and I'll fit it in my day. For me, I get 40, I'll go into in a minute, I get 42 weeklies. If I want to spend that 7 of them even, I'll have a good bowl of pasta, I'm going to have that, and I will still be within plan. But anyway, and the dairy substitutes, they talk a lot about fat-free. You can have any kind of fat-free cheese, fat-free cottage cheese, fat-free. I don't like fat-free. I don't like the taste of it. I don't like how it melts. Like if you're making, like, you know, one of those flatbed pizzas, I just don't like it. So I use my regular, you know, cheddar cheese or mozzarella cheese, whatever it is I'm using. I think those are part skim, but that's just what I buy anyway. And I count the points, and I enjoy. But if you wanted to stay with the 0, the fat-free, you know, would work for you if that's something you like. Lean proteins, you're gonna have chicken, turkey, beef, lamb, pork, including ham, that has less than 70 milligrams of sodium per 2-ounce serving. And some brands of Canadian bacon, and lean trimmed and all the skin removed. I mean, you can have lunch meat. Normally you have to count that. Okay, you can have lunch meat and deli meats with reduced sodium with less than 0.5 gram of fat per 2-ounce serving. So you don't have to count, like if you're having that as in your wrap or your lunch. Fish and cheese, you know, fish and shellfish, eggs. You can have eggs. No counting on that. Which I eat a lot of eggs now because I like them. I generally always have the same breakfast, so generally I'll have that for lunch. Sometimes I make it in a dinner. I make it in a thing. Beans, dried peas, lentils, meat substitutes, like veggie crumbles and that type of thing. Tofu, canned meats including buffalo, ostrich, and venison. Okay, wouldn't be doing that. And organ meats from beef, lamb, pork, and veal. Again, not for me, but hey, might be for you. Plus more, you can have reduced calorie light breads, and that's what I use. So when I have my poached egg on toast and I have some fruit for lunch, all that 0. I have 2 pieces of bread. I have 2 poached eggs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm feeling full. Then I have, like, so I always cut up strawberries or bananas or nectarine or something to go with it for my lunch. And it's very filling, and I don't have to count any of it. Reduced calorie light rolls. What else? Reduced calorie English muffins, or like, you know, the sandwich things for hamburger. And then, of course, you get healthy oils. 2 teaspoons per day. For additional servings, you have to count in Smart Points. So you can have, you know, canola, flaxseed, olive, sunflower, safflower. I never heard of that one. Okay, and then beverages, coffee, tea, diet soda, club soda, seltzer, and water. Then the seasonings. This is what I'm liking. You can have ketchup, you know, the mayonnaise, they want you to have fat-free. I don't like that. If I'm going to use mayonnaise, I count the points. But lemon, lime juice, mustard, soy sauce with the reduced sodium, steak sauce, taco sauce, sugar-free syrups, teriyaki sauce with reduced sodium, vinegar, Worcestershire sauce. Anyway, and then they talk about what's not included on the back. Look at that's not so bad, huh? It's like really pretty good. And like fried rice, white rice, regular pasta, no breading on your meat, obviously, flavored rices, anyway, pickled vegetables, olives, French fries, avocados. A lot of people like avocado, not me. I've never even tried avocado. Never in my life. It just doesn't look good. But anyway, dried fruits. So there are things you can't have, but that's okay because there's a lot you can have. And like I say, what I do, and then in the past 3 weeks, this is what I've done. I look at each day and I figure, what am I going to have for dinner with my family? Because I'm not going to have my family be on this diet. The 3 of them don't need to be on a diet. They're all very healthy weights. They're all in good shape. And so they shouldn't have to suffer. So if I'm making a meal, I kind of just a little bit for me, I tweak it for me, but then they're eating, like if we're having chicken, I can have the chicken. I'll have them have mashed potatoes. I'll make a baked potato. I use 1 teaspoon of regular whipped butter for 1 point. And I'll take that. If we have corn on the cob, I can have the corn on the cob. Again, I use 1 teaspoon of the whipped butter for 1 point if I'm having that. Canned vegetables, I can have anything. Broccoli. I mean, we eat a lot of vegetables anyway in my family, so they're kind of used to that, so that's not a problem for them. I just don't have any cheese like on the broccoli, which I used to love. But I like broccoli with, you know, just by itself too. And like, I'll make like they have those packets of noodles, like Alfredo noodles or garlicky herb noodles or whatever, and I'll make that for them, and then I just don't eat that. Stuffing, I'll make that for them and I don't eat it. But you know, I've had stuffing because it really called my name, and I thought, I'll take that, I'll measure that out. I hate measuring. I'll measure that out and I'll count those points. And so I'll enjoy it. But generally speaking, I'm trying to gear mine. Like if we have hamburgers, I'll count for I want a regular hamburger bun. I tried. The light bun, didn't like it. So I'm going to count the 4 points for the hamburger bun. And then of course the hamburgers, I got ground sirloin. It's, you know, lean, so I'm good to go on that. Mustard and ketchup on there, good to go with that. Tomato on there, good to go with that. I get a good sized burger and I enjoy every minute of that. So, and they're having hamburgers too, and they might have French fries, and then I'll have a baked potato, which I happen to enjoy. It's not like I have potato every night, but I can have potato, so it's like enjoyable. I make like a roasted cut up potato with some olive oil on it and some basil and parsley. I can eat all of that with the ketchup, and I'm enjoying what they're enjoying. So I'm just trying to gear. And if I think that they want to have something bad, I call it bad, and that I can't eat, I'll make a separate dinner for myself. I'll have the 3 of them be eating that. Generally, that doesn't happen very often. I can usually adjust my dinner to what they're doing. So anyway, that's kind of how it's been working. It's been working great so far. I'm going to show you how I do it. I look back, and I can't remember the first week, but I think I kind of basically did the same. 3 of the days of the week, I did Smart Points because that was a meal, a dinner. I go by my dinner. A dinner that I would have to use too many weekly points. I get 42 weekly points, and my points, if I was doing Smart Points per day, would be 30 points a day. And so I'll look at what I'm having for dinner with my family, and then I'll determine, is this a Smart Point day or is this a Simply Filling day? And that's how I base it. And so far, I look back, at least the ones I've written down in here for the last 2 weeks, I've had 3 Smart Point days each week. And on those and the other days, I count. Like my regular, I'll go back, just this past week I'll look at. I mean, I've got 2 weeks worth in here, but I'm gonna go back for the last week and show you what I've done. And it starts on Saturday for me. So I'm gonna go back to 128 and how I've written it in there. And on that particular day, I wrote that I put the date and the day so I can keep track a little bit better. And I wrote Smart Points on the top because I knew what we were having. We were gonna have pizza that day. Pizza is not a Simply Filling food, so therefore I wrote it in here. Now, mind you, on Saturdays I don't eat breakfast because that's my weigh-in day, and I go to Weight Watchers, and I bring a piece of fruit and some water after I weigh in, and then I do my shopping, and by the time I get home, it's lunchtime. It's, you know, so that's just what happens. So on that particular day, I had 1.5 chicken enchiladas, because I had made chicken enchiladas, like regularly made, like nothing diet about it. I used regular sour cream, regular cheese, I figured it all out. And that's 18 Smart Points. So that's a lot for 1.5 for lunch. But I was fine with that because I thought, I'm gonna enjoy. And on that particular day, I had a 16-ounce Mountain Dew. I thought of myself as a Popaholic. I'm not a Popaholic, I'm a Pepsi-aholic. Because once I stopped drinking Pepsi, which was 2 years ago, then I would drink every now and then an orange pop, a little orange pop. But I was finding, like, especially after I had stopped going to Weight Watchers, I was drinking those little ones a little too often. They weren't calling my name because I needed the caffeine because they're caffeine free, but I just felt it was easy because I don't like coffee and I don't like tea, and I don't like milk. So that kind of drops down what you can drink during the day. And so I let myself have one 16-ounce Mountain Dew each week. And I look forward to it and I enjoy it and I don't feel any guilt about it because it's my pleasure that I'm going to have that week. So anyway, and then in the afternoon I had a snack of a banana. And then for dinner I only had one piece of the square pizza and it was 9 points. You know, we got it, I forget where we got it from, Hungry Howie's or whatever, I don't even know. I looked it up, and thankfully I have Sandy, because once you change over your app and you can, to Simply Filling, it tells you everything that's Simply Filling, and it gives you the little green symbol if it is. I should say that's not true, but I'll explain that in a second. But anyway, most times it'll tell you the green little thing. So I can ask Sandy to look up for me. Of course, pizza is not Simply Filling, so when I look it up, it tells me the Smart Point value. That's how I do it. So on that particular day, I had 34 Smart Points. Well, I only get 30 for the week because that's what I have for Smart Point total. So I went over. So I had 4 out of my 42 weekly points on that particular day. So what I did was I go into that day and I quick add, because you can do a quick add. I'll show you how to do that. Well, I'm going to show you a little bit later because I did another one. I haven't added it in there. So I'll show you how to do that in 1 second. So I then would track in my phone, would say I had 4 out of 42 points. I'd say how many steps I've walked. And then you get fit points for that. On that particular day, I got 29 fit points. For the week is 29. And I track my water. I want to get 8 8-ounce glasses per day. That was an adjustment originally. I felt like I was in the bathroom all the time. But you know, your body does adjust. I do still have to go during the night. I do have to get up. I think that's my age. That's probably a lot to do with it. But I do have to get up at least once during the night, even still, to go to the bathroom. But I can deal with that because I can fall right back to sleep. I don't have a problem. And then the very next day, I did Smart Points again. I had company, had my in-laws over. I'm not going to make them eat diet, am I? No. So I had to follow along. And I had my Cheerios. I'm just going to read it because you can see here. I have my Cheerios, 4 Smart Points for a cup. And at the time, I thought that skim milk on Smart Points was 0 points. So I wrote down 0. I had to have a cup. And I've since found out that there is points to skim milk on the Smart Point plan. I'll talk about that in a minute. Banana, 0. I had a snack, nectarine, 0. Strawberries and bananas for lunch. Because I knew what I was going to eat for dinner was going to be a lot. And I knew I was going to have some ice cream. So I had planned it in my thought. And so I just thought I can get by with some strawberries and bananas. I wouldn't eat like this every day. But I kind of adjust per day and make it work kind of thing. So 0 and 0 for that. Dinner, I made a taco bake-a-ring. And it's in crescent roll. It's taco meat. It's cheese. And then you have on the side, you have cut up tomatoes, green onion, sour cream, which I don't use. And then you kind of just eat that. So 15 Smart Points for that. I had not a great big size piece, but enough to fill me, piece, 15 Smart Points. And then I had a chocolate chip ice cream and it was 11 Smart Points. And so that particular day was 30 Smart Points, which was actually my amount for the week. So I didn't have to use any weeklies on that day. I didn't have to add to my weeklies, and I just went with that. Again, I wrote down my steps, my daily and weekly fit points to that point, and my water total. I got my 8 glasses in. And then on Monday, on the top, I'm going to do Simply Filling. So I had Cheerios and a half a cup of skim milk and banana and nectarine And then for lunch, I had some taco meat because I had it left over from the thing, some tomato, some green onion. All that I've listed so far is 0 points. And then I had a 1/4 cup of cheddar cheese. That was 4 points. For dinner, we had roasted chicken, and I don't have the skin. That's 0 points. Baked potato, 0 points. Whipped butter, 1 point. So that particular day, I used 5 weekly points. Again, I do, I add, when I'm doing those and I'm adding those points, I actually do track it in my app as they are, because that's a Simply Filling day. And so I have to track it. And then, so far this week, I had 9 out of 42 weeklies. Again, I write how much I walked and all that good stuff. Tuesday, again, a Simply Filling day. And breakfast, I'm a creature of habit. Cheerios, skim milk, banana, snack, nectarine. Lunch, chicken, cherry tomatoes, and grapes. And all of that so far, 0 points. And then dinner, I had ground sirloin, which this was a hamburger day, 0 points. Hamburger bun, 4 points. Tomato, 0. Fried potato, 0. Corn on the cob, 0. A teaspoon of whipped butter, 1 point. So on that particular day, I had 5 weekly points that I used. Again, tracking it in my app. And so at that point, I had 14 out of 42 points used. And I wrote down my walking and water and whatnot. Wednesday, again, another Simply Filling day. Cheerios, milk, banana, 2 poached eggs, 2 slices of light bread, a banana, and strawberries, all 0 points. For dinner, I make a spinach, egg, and feta, cheese, bake, like a scramble. I do it as a scramble, and that's 3 points, and that is for the feta cheese, because I don't use reduced fat, so I had to count the portion that I used. It was 3 points. And then for snack, I had a 3 Musketeers bar for 13 points, and I added it in there. And you know what? I put that into my total of weeklies. I was like, okay, I had it, I'm gonna do it. So at that point, I had 30 out of 42 weeklies used, and that was on Wednesday. But I enjoyed the heck out of that candy bar. I just felt like wanted it, I ate it. And again, water, all my water and my steps and all that. So Thursday, Smart Point day. And I had Cheerios, which count for 4 points. The half cup skim milk, that's 2 points for half cup. And banana, 0. So, and then lunch, I had only 1 ounce of the turkey, the low sodium deli meat. You get 1 point. Cherry tomatoes, a pickle spear, 5 social crackers, just the regular kind. That's 2 points. A banana and strawberries. And then for dinner, I went to Sandy's house. You probably saw her piece. It was bigger than mine. I was gonna say very large, and it was. And she counted it. She counted her points, so that's fine. That's what she wanted to do. But to me, I had a normal size piece. I looked it up in the thing. It told me that it was only 13 points. Well, my total for the day was 20 points at that point. I don't know that lasagna was only 13 points. I really think it was more, because she puts a lot of cheese and stuff in it. So I was under my Smart Points for the day. I was thinking that lasagna was going to really throw me, and that's why I went Smart Point way. In true reality, I probably could have done that. I don't know, Simply Filling, I would have had to add points. So see how I flipped it and did Smart Points, and then I didn't have to count any points because I was at 20 out of my 30. And probably more than 20 because of the lasagna. But so I didn't have to add any. So again, on Thursday, I'm still at 30 out of 42 weeklies. Walk and all that good stuff. Friday, regular Simply Filling day. Breakfast, Cheerios, skim milk, banana. Lunch, flat out light piece of, the flat out light bread, 0 points. The pizza sauce in a can, 0 points. A 1/4 cup of mozzarella, regular skim mozzarella, 2 points. Dinner, I had, again, a hamburger. I forget my family wanted to eat these, very fattening. They get like these chicken strips that have breading and whatnot on them at like Kroger. And then they get from KFC the potato wedges, which I probably could eat those, I don't know how they cook them, so I don't know. But anyway, they get that, and I was like, I'm not eating them chicken strips. I like them, but I don't like them that much. So I had taken out of the freezer, you know, I have a, what do I call it, hamburger patties already frozen, you know, that I've taken out. But anyway, 0 points for that, 4 points for the hamburger bun, tomato 0, corn on the cob 0, 1 teaspoon of whipped butter, 1 point. And so on that particular day, I used 2, 6, 7 points. 7 points, and I didn't total it there for some reason. So in that particular week, I used 37 out of 42 points. I never even used all of my weeklies, because that's Friday and that's the end of my week, like how I look at it, because I start early, start again on Saturday from weigh-in day. On that particular week, I lost 2.8 pounds. And that was the week I had 3 Musketeers, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I had lasagna, and I really enjoyed myself. I really didn't feel deprived. But anyway, so at that point, up to this point, my last weigh-in, I've lost 8.7 pounds. And again, the first 2 weeks, I don't even count, that I was on the plan. And then of course I start again, and here I'm on to the next week, Saturday, Sunday. I'm gonna keep going on. But what I wanna show you is on the app, like when I figure out how many weekly points, here's my app, I'm sure you're all familiar with. It sets it up, see it says 42, because I went into the settings and I changed it to Simply Filling. So now on the particular day where it was a Smart Point day, which was yesterday, Sunday, I used 8 of my weeklies because I had a Tubby sub and a Mountain Dew, and I really enjoyed it. But anyway, so, and of course my regular breakfast. And so since I have to add the 8 points, this is what I do. I go into the add button on the little square on the bottom, and then I go, it says quick add, I add that, I hit that one, and then this brings up this here. And I'm gonna add in here Smart Point value 8, and then the date, you have to make sure you have the date, which was actually yesterday, so I had to switch it to yesterday because I do it the day after. You have to do that. And then you name it, and all I do is all I do is write weeklies. I don't have to say any more than that. I don't have to say exactly what it was. I hit done, and then you just track your points. And so now it tells me I've used 8 and I have 34 left. And that's what, as of Saturday, because, as of yesterday, because, I think I wrote that on the wrong day. That was supposed to be, anyway, I think I have to write, that was 8 points for Saturday, and then and I had 8 points on Sunday, so I'll have to add that one in too in order to get up to right now, my total weeklies. Oh, I just did the wrong date. This was Saturday's date. I'll correct that now. It's not a problem. You can delete it out. But anyway, you can track, then you'll know how many weeklies you're gone per day. So you'll either have tracked it because it's a Smart Point on a Smart Point day, and it'll track those, you know what I mean, like those extra ones. I just write them as weeklies and I put them in. So each day I take it as how I'm going to eat dinner and what's going to happen. And generally I figure out how to eat within that very good range of my daily amount for that dinner that I'm going to have. You know what I'm saying? So it's like 3 out of the 7 days I did Smart Points doing it that way. And so far it's been good for me. I hope I've gone, I know I talk fast and I know I talk long. Oh my goodness, it's over 30 minutes. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. I think what I might do is, talk more about Simply Filling in a couple of videos coming up. I'm not going to be on as active as I was before. I still don't have that urge. But if you have any questions, or if you want to see some type of video on Simply Filling, or me answering any questions about Simply Filling on a video, please put the questions down below and I will review them, and Sandy will let me know if there's comments. I don't always go in there, but and so I can answer them for you or do a video if that's something that you're wanting. I hope it's been helpful to you, and try the Simply Filling. It actually is a good plan, and I think you're gonna like it. It's worth a try anyway. It can't hurt. It's still Weight Watchers, so give it a try.